If you read the news media like myself, every single day you start to notice trends. Unfortunately, I do this because it's my job, but for other people who don't read the newspapers every single morning, they might not notice certain trends. So, for example, right now there is this push for a moral panic that people who are pro EU are being discriminated against. So there's like this push from the BBC especially suggesting that if you are a Remainer and you show that to the people, there's going to be discrimination against you. And they pick individual cases such as this one, where a train staff told passengers that his pro-EU t-shirt belongs in the bin. And this made national headlines for some reason. Okay, so what happened? Well, there's this t-shirt with the European Union logo on it. And the gentleman wore a similar t-shirt. He got into the train. And as he was in the train, a cleaner, okay, so a working class man, told him that his EU t-shirt should be thrown in the bin. And of course now the guy filed a complaint to the train company and they're looking into it. You know, I'm pretty sure this menace, this evil towards society, the cleaner, is going to have to be found, right? Hopefully fired and placed in prison. These people, what really annoys to me is that they literally do not understand human rights. Listen, okay, so yeah, I guess the cleaner, in my opinion, shouldn't get fired, but you should get like a wage cut. You should get a warning, a suspension, or something like that. Like, well, when you're on the job, when you're actually working for a company, you keep your political opinions at home because everything you say reflects on the company. If I go to a restaurant and the waiter comes to my table and starts lecturing me about my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ and asks me why did I order meat when it's before Easter and I should be fasting, yeah, I'm not going to go to that restaurant again, obviously, right? If I, as a doctor, start lecturing people about gay marriage as they're on their sickbed in a hospital, you can see why that would be a problem. So, yeah, when you're at work, you should keep your opinions to yourself. So this is more like, the way I view it, it's something that should give the guy a punishment, but I don't think this is of national concern. It's not like, oh my god, look what happened, let's put it on the BBC front page, you know? Because here's the thing, like, there's a lot of people that are upset on Twitter, and they're not upset because the guy was working for the train company and, you know, he spoke while on business. In fact, like, working for a company and speaking, that's actually considered great in the United States. Like the Kaepernick guy who kneeled, you know, while he was basically working for the football association. That was fine. No, that's progressive. He had the right opinions. But if you are at a job and you have the wrong opinions, then you should be fired. But what I'm trying to say is, like, look, if we're talking about principle, all right, we're talking about the idea of human rights and whatnot, then yeah, the guy has all the right in the world to wear a European Union t-shirt. Okay, like, this is what he believes in. This is his ideology, this is his politics, he stands for them, and he wants to express this to the world by wearing this shirt. Perfect. He's got absolutely every right. It's called freedom of expression. It's the same as wearing a MAGA hat. Now, other people also have the right to tell you to take that shirt and stuff it up your ass. They don't have the right to actually pull your shirt away. They don't have the right to take some scissors and start, you know, tearing your shirt or whatnot. They don't have that right. So when someone wears a MAGA hat and someone else pulls it or yanks it out of his head, no, they don't get that right. They haven't got that right because they're now not using free speech, they're using action. Okay, so it's actually considered assault in the United States. And it's a disrespect towards the private property of other individuals. But if someone wears a EU shirt and I tell them you should throw that away, then it's also my freedom of expression. Now, my freedom of expression doesn't harm this individual because this individual can turn around and not listen to me. Okay, he's got his choice. So if you actually care about human rights, you need to respect all human rights. Yes, the guy has the choice to wear the shirt. Other people have the choice to tell them that he is wrong for wearing the shirt. As long as there's no action being taken and someone doesn't try to yank his shirt off, I don't see any problem. So there we go. I fixed the issue. I fixed the controversy, right? But obviously this is not the controversy that's supposed to be fixed. This is just supposed to create a moral panic in the public. Oh my God, you wear an EU shirt in Britain, you're going to get harassed. And now we got another article, another cherry-picked case. Look how they're coming one after another within the span of a couple of hours. Isn't that interesting? Businessman detained at Gatwick over anti-Brexit badge. So apparently he was having one of those vulgar badges which has a pair of testicles and it's bollocks to Brexit. Wow, brilliant idea from whomever came up with it. Absolutely fantastic. You know what, like, okay, fine. So he's wearing this badge and he was told to remove it. And I don't understand, like, if I'm at an airport, like, if a guard tells me, can you please remove this shit? I remove that shit and then, you know, go through the gate and put that shit back on. Like, this is not about, you know, human rights. Like, when you want to fly with a plane, the moment you step into the airport, you agree to certain conditions. And one of the conditions is that you agree that as you're going through the gate, they're going to search you. At least in my country. I don't know how it's in other places. But I'm pretty sure it's the same in Britain, right? So if they tell you to take the badge away, maybe the badge is made out of a metal, you know, and it can affect the detector. Maybe I don't know why they told him, but okay, just take it away, put it down, go through the gate, put it back on. What the fuck is the big problem? You know, I remember like that lady from CNN, which got patted down at an airport and she started crying and I'm looking, wow, holy shit, so this is what oppression looks like. Oh my God, wow, I can never emphasize, I can never fathom. I got a pat down at the airport last time I traveled to London. It was a horrible experience. But anyway, so apparently he felt very frightened. So he refused to remove the badge, right? And he was told to go into a holding area without his passport. Well, obviously, if you are going to refuse to follow the instructions, there's an escalation. Because the moment you refuse to follow instructions, you're acting suspicious. So they decided to put you in a place while they're contacting the superior. It's like, look, this guy doesn't follow instruction. What did he do? Well, he doesn't want to remove his bollocks badge. Horrible. Okay, so they detained him for 10 minutes and then let him go. So what's the problem? Like, okay, first of all, there's absolutely no explanation why he had to remove the badge. Like, maybe, as I mentioned, it has nothing to do with the fact that it was a anti-Brexit badge, and maybe it was just because it was made out of a metal, like most badges are. You know, like they have the metal pin that, and maybe that's why he was told to remove it. But yeah, apparently, like this is it. Like this is the news. Okay, this is what made front page news. Guy was detained 10 minutes at the airport. Horrible. Probably bourgeoisie white man, because they got like the connections to complain to the media. They don't really explain what the problem is. Like, this article is so short that my penis is longer than this, you know. And finally, the last article, which also came in the last couple of days. An opera singer was asked to remove provocative pro-EU dress ahead of concert. So notice the fact that they don't have principles, right? Like, I am willing to point out that, yeah, in the case of the guy working for the train company, if he is he shouldn't have political opinions while on the job. While outside the job, he can have whatever political opinions he wants. But inside the job, okay, he needs to be neutral. So why is it different for this buxom opera singer? Why is it different? She's on a job. Okay, she is singing at the opera. And the people who are running the opera told her, look, your dress is sparking a political message. Now, maybe you agree or you disagree, but if they tell you to dress differently, fucking dress differently. You're working for them. You're getting paid. So here's my problem, okay? I'm a lazy person. I don't like to think for myself. When I want to think, I read the media. And the media tells me how to think. But now I'm a little bit confused. Because on the subject of how should you behave when you're under the working hours of an employer, I get different answers. So in one case, we got the answer that you're not allowed to have your own opinions. That if you see someone wearing a EU shirt, you can't tell them to throw it in a bin because it's not your place. You're under employment. And it's like, okay, you know, all right. So this is the principle. But in another case, if you're at an opera and you're working for them and they tell you don't wear this shirt because it's going to be very divisive, okay? We don't want the the people who are pro-Brexit coming into our establishment and thinking that we support the remaining of Britain in Europe. So we don't want you to wear the shirt. Outrage. So what is the principle? Like I genuinely like trying to figure it out, and it seems that there's a little bit of a contradiction. Now I expect that more articles are going to come up in the next couple of days to show us the trauma and the suffering that people who are pro-EU are going into the ever more violent and harsh society of Great Britain. But I'm just trying to follow the logic, and there is none. The only logic that there is that people who are pro-EU should be able to express themselves in any circumstance, absolutely any, even when at work. Like I can imagine, a patient that goes through a car crash and is immobilized in bed is now going to be forced to listen to his doctor, which tells him about the great glory of the European Union. But people who are pro-Brexit, they can't tell that, especially not at work, obviously. Meanwhile, I'll tell you what's not in the news. People who are supporting Brexit and they're leaving online comments get visits from the police stations. So yeah, just type this in YouTube and you'll find the video and you can watch it. I'm not going to play it here because it's 5 minutes long, but yeah, just make up your own mind and ask yourself, why is it that when bourgeoisie, middle class, wealthy people are suffering a little bit of oppression, they're told by their employer, no, you can't do that, immediately it makes breaking news. But when you have like police actually visiting average citizens for opinions they post on the Twitter, that's not breaking news. That's not in the media at all. You have to go look for it yourself. So let me know what you think. Looking forward to seeing from you guys in the comment section.